Hi everyone, my name is Maddie and I'm Vintage Spice here on YouTube. This is going to be another what sold video, but before I go into the sales, I just want to say thank you to all my new subscribers. I got quite a few subscribers in a short period of time, I think because Courtney from Bolo Buddies shared my sales on the featured members video, and a lot of people came from that video to my channel. So thank you so much for everyone who is new here, and thank you to all the return watchers as well. I had a little bit of a rough 2 weeks because there was a storm here in Michigan. There were two storms actually, and in the past 2 weeks, I have lost power twice. So the first time I lost power was for 5 days, and I had to stay in a hotel because it was below freezing outside. So the house is really cold, and I have a cat, so I didn't want him to be sick or anything like that. So I had to message all of my customers and tell them that their packages were going to be pretty late because 5 days of no shipping is quite a long time. But I learned my lesson for the second storm, which happened 2 days ago, because I extended my handling time this time. But of course, the storm was only 2 days this time instead of 5 days. So I was able to switch my handling time back today. And of course, that affected sales because people are less likely to buy from you if they see your handling time is longer, because people typically want their items faster, of course. So that has affected sales. Today, since my power is back, I've been listing all morning, so hopefully I'll be able to build up that momentum in my store again. But I also want to give a shout out to the Rebel Resellers Facebook group. I have been posting a little bit more in there frequently, and everyone in there is super, super nice and really supportive. And I recommend her Facebook group for sure if you're looking for somewhere to just chat with other resellers, or if you're new to this and you have questions, or if you're a seasoned reseller and want to help newbies out. It's a really great community of people. So I will link the Rebel Reseller down below, and if you click on her profile, there should be a link to her Facebook group as well. So yeah, we can get started with the sales now that I've had a little intro. This video is for the sales for February 19th through 25th. And let me pull up my little notes. I have eBay, Poshmark, Depop, and Etsy sales to share with you this week. So let's get started. The first item is this Marx Imagination Dollhouse bookshelf, and this is a little bit more of a rare Marx dollhouse. I was talking to a Marx collector actually a few months ago, and he had never heard of this dollhouse. It was made a little bit later than the metal dollhouses. This dollhouse is made of plastic, actually. It's from 1968. Well, a lot of the metal dollhouses are from the 1950s. So this sold for the full sale price of $22.07, and the buyer was all in for $29.75. And I have about $2 into this in a lot from an online auction, but I'm in the profit now already for this. Next is this Windup Robot toy. It is quite small. Let's see. Yeah, only less than 2.5 inches long. And it's this little toy, and this also sold for $22.07. The buyer was all in for $39.07, I think because they lived across the country. And I got this in a buyout of toys from a toy store that was going out of business, and I have less than $1 into this. Next is this Trapper Keeper from the 90s. I have been looking for a Trapper Keeper in the wild for a long time, and I finally found one, I think about 2 or 3 months ago. And it finally sold for a best offer of $21. And the buyer was all in for $32.70 because this item was quite heavy and it had to go priority. I paid up for this item. I paid $8.50 at an antique mall. But I was just so excited to find a Trapper Keeper that I bought it anyway because I knew I could make some profit on it. So just thankful for that sale for sure. Next is this Dollhouse miniature mantle clock. It actually is broken. there is a little piece broken off of it. Oh, you can see it right here. There's a piece broken off of it. But this still sold for a best offer of $38. The buyer was all in for $47.09, and I paid about $10 for this in a buyout. But in that buyout, I paid $10 for each Dollhouse miniature, and some of the miniatures sold for quite high. So the fact that this sold for only $38 is okay with me. Next is this vintage dog plush. I was really surprised when I looked this up and saw the comps. I guess this is a main character for a Canadian children's television show that was really not mass produced at all. So that's why this sold for so high. I took a best offer of $100, and the buyer was all in for $120. And this went to Canada, which makes sense since it's a Canadian television show. And I paid $2 for this at Salvation Army, but this did take quite a while to sell compared to the other items I sell. It took about 8 months. Next is this Marx Disneyland playset piece. It is the alligator, and I took a best offer of $25, and the buyer was all in for $32.21. I paid about $3 for this in a lot from an online auction, and this is one of the sales that was delayed by about 5 days. So I had 2 of these alligators, and I included both alligators for this buyer, actually, instead of just sending one, just as a little, like, I'm sorry kind of thing for taking so long to ship. And they're a loyal buyer for me and have bought from me many times, so I felt like it was appropriate to just add something extra in there, especially because I had 2 of the exact same item. Next is this Artisan Dollhouse miniature lamp. I took a best offer of $80 for this, and the buyer was all in for $93. I paid about $10 for this in a buyout as well. Next is this Artisan Dollhouse wicker chair. This sold for the full sale price of $91.99, and the buyer paid shipping. I'm not sure how much because they bought quite a few things at once. I think there were 5 items in this order, and I can't remember how much the shipping was. I paid about $7 and a lot for this. Okay. Next is this Alaska bear plush. I took a best offer of $18, and the buyer was all in for $28.26. And I have pennies into this. I went to a Salvation Army one day, and I can't believe I did this, but I just asked them how much for all of their plush and this giant industrial-sized trash can. I don't know why I did that, but they sold me every single plush they had in there for $80, and there were hundreds of plush in there. So I have pennies into this, and this is from that buyout. Definitely a weird thing to do. I don't know why I did that, but interesting way to source for sure. They were pretty excited to get rid of so much plush at once, so that was cool. This is a replacement Bratz headset. I was able to pinpoint what Bratz doll this went to by using Worth Point. I took a best offer of $10. The buyer was all in for $16.23 for just this one headpiece for a Bratz doll. I paid less than $1 for this in a high bid auction, and this got watchers, like 5 watchers immediately. So being able to figure out what exact doll it went to really helped me sell this item for sure. Next are my Posh sales. This is a Hippo Lovey from Blankets and Beyond. This sold for $25, and after fees, I made $18.28. I paid $1 for this at Goodwill. This is a vintage G.I. Joe figure. I used Google Lens to figure out which one this was, and this sold for $10. After fees, I made $7.05, and I got this on Whatnot for less than $1. Lastly, for the Poshmark sales, is this Dakin vintage 1987 dog. It's holding a sock in its mouth, and this sold for $23. After fees, I will make $18.40, and this one has been listed for kind of a long time, so I can't remember what I paid for it, no more than $3. I don't think I would pay more than $3 for a single plush unless it was worth a lot of money. And I noticed that there's a lot of this kind of dog holding a sock in its mouth, but they don't sell that quickly, unfortunately, which I learned the hard way. Next are two Depop sales. I sold this cat shirt for $17. The buyer was all in for $22, and I paid between $2 and $4 for this. Next is this grandpa sweater. This sold for $22, and the buyer was all in for $31, and I paid between $3 and $5 for this. Lastly is my Etsy sale. It is this Lisa Frank pencil sharpener. This sold for $23.99. The buyer was all in for $30.05, and I paid about 10 cents for this at an estate sale. And it's interesting because I had 5 or 6 of these Lisa Frank pencil sharpeners listed. They were all shaped like different animals, and I listed them months ago, and they weren't selling, which I thought was really weird because I expected them to sell really quickly. But suddenly all 5 of them sold within the same week, which was last week. And I don't know if because maybe there was a TikTok trend about Lisa Frank, or I don't really know what was going on with that, but they all sold within 5 days, which was just surprising to me. So if anyone knows if there's like some sort of trend going on with Lisa Frank pencil sharpeners or school supplies, just let me know in the comments, because I would be interested to hear why these all sold at the same time. Okay, that's all I have for you today. If you guys could leave a like and a comment, that would mean so much to me, because that would help my video get out to more viewers. I'm so thankful for everyone who subscribed to me and who is watching my videos, especially new subscribers, but also, of course, return viewers too. So thank you guys for being here, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks.